Hey guys, welcome to this KeyForge video where we will be looking at the different houses in Winds of Exchange and what exactly they do. So, to start off, Winds of Exchange is consisted of 7 houses: Bradenator, Saurian, Mars, Equidon, Star Alliance, Unfathomable, and Sanctum. And in each of these houses, they have their own unique thing that they come out in, such as Shadows was good at stealing. So to start this off, we're going to start off with Bradenator, and a beautiful example of what Bradenator does is Frost Giant, because it is a massive creature that does a lot of fighting because it's 18 power, and this just shows you what Bradenator really does. And here's another example of another creature that is a high power and has a splash attack. So this shows that Bradenator wants to make you fight a lot, and you can also benefit from it, like with this card called Pelf, which reads, after fight, your opponent loses 1 ember, which goes to show you how Bradenator really wants you to fight. And not only that, but it has skirmish, so with this one specifically, it doesn't get any damage when you fight. So therefore, it's a good example. Here's another one where we have another after fight effect that reads, enrage each of his neighbors, which is just another example of more fighting. So if you enjoy the big battle line and you enjoy fighting and you play around that, then I would look for Bradenator in this new set. Moving on to the new house, Equidon. Equidon is first released in this set, and I really think, from looking at all the spoilers and stuff, I believe that it has to do with investing. The best example I could find of this was insurance policy, because you lose 1 ember when you play the upgrade, but when the creature is destroyed, if it's not your turn, you gain 4 ember. So I really believe that this house just shows if you invest and can play around it, then this is the right house for you, especially if you can do good with ember control. And if you don't know what ember control is, it's basically just controlling who has the ember and who can use it. So like, ember control can deal with capturing, stealing, and just gaining. Alrighty, now, sorry I'm going out of order, but Mars. And I think Mars is going to change a little bit with this set, because I think it's going to do with a lot of making token creatures, and I feel like the best example of this was Martian Revolution, which this card reads, play, destroy each friendly creature. For each creature destroyed this way, make a token creature. So if you have a good token creature like Blorb out there, then I think this will be good. Blorb is an example of a token creature, and it just is pretty cool because it's elusive, it can't reap, but I feel like it would be good to get some little 1 damage out there on the board. And it could be good if you have destroy a friendly creature and an enemy creature, or like for every friendly creature you destroy an enemy creature. To go even farther on this topic, Blorb is a card that goes with Blorb Hive. And Blorb Hive has an Omni effect that reads, destroy a friendly creature. If you do, make 2 Blorbs. Then, if you control 10 or more Blorbs, destroy Blorb Hive and forge a key at no cost. So, in a way, this is kind of a key cheat. And a key cheat is just when you can forge a key when it's not your forge a key step. And Blorb Hive also just gives another example where it's just making token creatures, which I think is pretty cool. And I don't know if you've seen, but there's some token creatures out there that are really cool. And this is one example of them because you can have a key cheat. Next up, we're going to do Unfathomable. Now, Unfathomable, I'm not really sure, because I think from what I understand, it kind of prevents you from doing things. But you guys correct me in the comments if that's not what you guys think. But to give you an example of this, here's a few cards to show you. Here we go with the first one, which reads, after a creature fights, it doesn't ready during the ready card step this turn. Now, this card is a perfect example of what I think Unfathomable does, which just kind of prevents the game from being too quick. And I don't know, I think this is going to be interesting to play against, interesting to play with. And here's another example where it reads, when your opponent plays an action card, instead of resolving its play effect, destroy the creature on your left flank, which is just super interesting. Like, all these cards, I'm just like, I think they'll be really fun, because my favorite card is Orb of Invidious, which kind of prevents you from doing things. It does this by stunning creatures when you reap. But back to Unfathomable, here's another one where you make 3 token creatures when you play it, but token creatures do not ready during their controller's ready card step. And this just shows you that I think this whole house is meant to just make the game be interesting, because you can have this out there and it doesn't just affect you, so it's pretty equal. And if your playstyle, like mine, is making it complicated for both of the players, I think this will be a really cool house and one that you should definitely look for. Moving on to Sanctum, this is another house where I'm not completely sure what it does, but I've seen 3 things that it's done. One being healing, which is definitely beneficial if you have some creatures out there that are bigger and they have damage on them. But another thing that I've seen is a lot of armor, and this is also very beneficial, especially if you have creatures out there that you want to stay out there. The last thing I've seen is Taunt, and Taunt is very beneficial, especially when you want to have a low power creature that has maybe a fight or a reap effect, and you want it out there for more than one turn. Because Taunt makes it so that you have to fight that creature before you can fight its neighbors. So if you want to have it out there so that you can use that reap or fight effect, then it's very helpful. Moving on here, we have Saurian. And Saurian, I feel like a lot of people remember it as the capture house, where it would capture a lot of Ember. While this is true, like you can see on this card, I don't believe capturing is the only thing that Saurian does. I believe it also exalts cards, and it also can move Ember from cards to other cards. And that's not the only thing I see Saurian doing. I also see it doing one other thing. This would be board wipes, because I think that we've seen Saurian doing a lot of big changes in the battle line, such as this card, which makes it so that you divide each player's battle line in half. And I think this just shows the true power of Saurian. So if you like to do any of these things, I think you should definitely be looking for Saurian. If this is not right for you, maybe this next house will be. This next house, which is also our last house, is Star Alliance. I like this house because it does a lot of good upgrades, such as this one, where you can make a creature belong to any house. Or this one, which makes your opponent's keys cost +3 Ember. And then there's also creatures in Star Alliance that can be played as upgrades, like this one. And I think that that's really cool, because then you can choose to either have a creature or an upgrade. And sometimes you don't always need the upgrades, so I think that's really unique and cool. For the card of the day, I chose Insurance Policy. And to look at this card a little bit more, it reads, play, lose 1 Ember. This creature gains destroyed. If it is not your turn, gain 4 Ember. And I really like this card, and it just shows you basically all of the new stuff in Winds of Exchange all as one, because it shows you House Equidon, it shows you what Equidon really does, and it's just really cool artwork as well. That's gonna wrap it up for this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I want to hear what you guys think you guys are looking forward to the new set. Is it the houses, and if so, which houses, or is it certain cards that you like, and if so, what are those cards? And so yeah, I thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.